Hello and welcome back to the end of another week. I was hoping that the wind would slow down, die down, but it's not, and it sounds, or it looks like it might actually start to rain soon. So I figured I'd get out and send an update. Bumblebees are still doing their thing. I love watching those. The gladiolas are kaput, but my physalis is starting to come in. So down in here, this one's pretty good. And if I pop it out, it has a little, yeah, these little orange fruits are very tasty. I like them. So we're starting to get some of those. It may be obvious at this point that I'm a little ADD sometimes, and I get easily distracted. So I haven't actually been doing much in the garden out there because I've been planning and researching how I want to set up the orchard, which I may have mentioned before. We're planning on basically using this line, this property line, and turning this back section into a backyard orchard. So that's the north side back there. South side is down here by the fig tree. And basically our fig tree was a wedding present, and my plan is to go kind of over into that space to set up the first tree, and then they'll just go along the line about 3 feet in, 3 or 4 feet in from the fence. And we think that should be sufficient to not really bother the farmer when he comes and does all of his corn. We may end up bringing them even further in, but that's kind of what we're discussing right now. I've decided that I wanted to do a cut flower garden. And typically you would plant those bulbs and things in the autumn, which is coming up very soon. So I've started kind of working on this area. I've been digging out like the really big rooty things, like whatever this thing is has like a giant taproot. So I've been painstakingly digging all those things out. And I have my little pile of stuff that needs to get put over there. And then this, I've never been particularly thrilled with this area. I'm not a super fan of like just rocks. I think they're kind of ugly. So what I'm thinking about doing is that this thing actually has really pretty pink flowers when it blooms. And I kind of trimmed it down because it was getting sort of like scraggly and crazy. And it's recovering, but I'm thinking about actually removing this whole area, not the plant, but just the stuff. Because under here, there's actually plastic, which again, I'm not super thrilled about. So when I was digging up all the weeds, like they have this plastic, and it's weed block, because if you look down in here, there's a bunch of ivy, which is definitely a pain in the butt to suppress. But I think I can control it, at least a little. I'm gonna try. My idea is basically to go ahead and like cut kind of a circle around here, and then maybe I'll go ahead and keep using these rocks rather than relocating them, but then using these giant boulder rocks, and rather than having this like funky shape that they made for whatever reason, I think what I may do is just like basically bring it in so that this space gets a lot smaller. And basically the rocks can kind of accentuate this plant and maybe like give it a border, or I'm not really sure, because I still need to kind of get in there and play with it. But I'll try to remove as much plastic as I can and just kind of like congregate it all up around that plant. And then this, like all of this area along this slope, I'll go ahead and do my normal thing of like, right now I'm trying to like clean it up, and then I'll probably do some digging, because it's not very flat. It's all kinds of wonky. So doing some stuff to kind of like level it up, flatten it out, make it smoother. I'll probably go ahead and either put the cardboard down with compost on top of it, or maybe I'll just plant directly into the dirt here. Because it's on a slope, it doesn't really like collect the water, which is always a problem, especially like in this area. I mean, it's still on a slope, but it's not as much of on a slope. So this area was getting very soggy when it gets super wet. But anyway, so that is the plan for this space. We are still very much like seriously talking about putting a greenhouse here, and there would be a wall kind of over there, and then the greenhouse would probably go to about here, because we're only allowed to build, I think he said we're only allowed to build 20 square meters without a permit. We still have to file like something else, but we don't need like an actual building permit. I did get around to planting some stuff in here. So I put parsley here, carrots there, and radishes over here. So radishes being super fast. You can already see the little things coming up. I only planted, this thing keeps coming off. I think I only planted three. I think I planted 3 rows, but some of them are coming up and kind of dying. Anyway, so parsley, carrots, radish, we'll see what happens. Everything else in the garden, this bed is actually remarkably starting to fill in, so that's kind of cool. I haven't planted anything in here yet. I'm not sure. Haven't started this project again because I'm still kind of like filling up these things with like the hugelkultur that goes on the bottom. So we'll see. We have gotten some tomatoes actually, and we have a fairly big aubergine here. So he's pretty big. He got a little boo-boo there, but he's a pretty decent size. She's a pretty decent size. But yeah, again, I mean, we have lots and lots of tomatoes, but I mean, with the weather being cold and overcast, it's just not really the right weather. Conducive to actual ripening. And then, as I said before, I'm still fighting this like fungal blight stuff, so I still have to go through regularly and trim the leaves, and hope for the best. So yeah, we went to the neighbors way down there yesterday for their retirement party. And so they actually introduced us to, they have like a family compound there. So it's the one neighbor. Well, so we have the horses, and then we have the first house, which has the neighbor that used to own all of this land around us, and he sold when he retired. So then there's another house adjacent to his who also has family. So his mom lives there with his brother. Which is kind of cool. And then up around the corner, apparently way over there at the end of the road, there's a French-Canadian couple who moved into that house a few months actually before we bought this house. And apparently their house way over there is pretty much the exact same house as ours, like same general era of construction and everything. So that's pretty cool. And then we actually found out that the house over there, I don't think I mentioned this previously, but there was actually like some builders and construction guys at the house, and we thought, oh, somebody bought it and they're going to renovate it. But in fact, no, apparently whoever owned it passed away, and their child or children inherited it. So they were putting some things on the chimneys to protect it from the rain. And apparently they have been getting offers to buy the house. There are people, I mean, it's like the gal who does the horses over there apparently is interested in buying that property. But the person who owns it now isn't interested in selling it. Which is kind of sad because they're not doing anything to it. So in the meantime, it's just going to like gradually decay, unless they get around to fixing it up. But anyway, yeah. So yesterday was the retirement party. We literally spent like 8 hours over there, and we were only like in the first half of people to leave. So I had been warned that when the French have parties, you show up at noon and you leave at like midnight. We ended up like, we showed up at 12:30 and we left at around 8:30. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. So yeah, that's it for this week. Things to come is mainly like, I'm just going to focus and try to bust out this, next week. Assuming the weather plays nice with me. And that's just like basically just cleaning it up, and then we'll go from there. And I'll see what I'm gonna plant and what I'm gonna do, but I'm excited, and that's my new big project. Oh, also we are probably going to go ahead and buy the like the cage structure that's going to go here for the chickens. I need to confirm with Francis about that one, because I'm probably going to need his help to construct it. But I'd like to plant some things along this fence line, the kiwis, which haven't arrived yet, and I'm hoping that they arrive soon. But yeah, I would like to plant the kiwis along here, and then my idea was that they could actually grow up onto the chicken enclosure. But obviously we need the chicken enclosure for that to happen. So yeah, I think that's it. Eventually I will start in earnest on the backyard orchard, because we're hoping to get bare root trees this winter to plant while they're sleeping. And yeah, that's it for this week. So I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.